So in this video, I want to have a very honest conversation about freelancing. Now, I want to have a brutally honest conversation, like so honest that some of you guys might have to have some second thoughts about pursuing a freelance career. Like, I want to talk about some of the pitfalls and some of the challenges. Freelancing for me has been an incredible journey. Like, I have been able to gain so much experience. I've been able to move from sector to sector. I've been able to save large amounts of money. I've been able to earn, much more money than my counterpart who I work side by side with, who'd be a permanent project manager, for example, even probably earning more than, the head of a project management team. As a freelancer, you're able to really gain from that, right? The fact that you're paid a premium day rate, okay? However, there are some challenges that come along the way. And I think sometimes I have to acknowledge that it can be easy to sell freelancing as though it's like the bee's knees, it's the best thing in the world. But there are some challenges that can really, let's just be real, right, put people off. Like, it's not for everybody, okay? And some of the things I want to talk about is from my own experiences, okay? One of the major things is obviously the financial element. You are having to deal with inconsistent income, okay? As a freelancer, you have to be able to adapt to being in different financial situations, right? And for some people, that is extremely daunting. Like, they can't do that. They're not able to physically, mentally, emotionally do that. If you're someone that you like to pay your bills on time, you've got responsibilities like we all have, right? But some people are able to manage that a bit better by, they might have money put aside. I've always encouraged in my previous videos that you make sure you've got at least 3 months money put aside. You're getting paid that premium day rate. So you need to make sure that you're saving for those times where you're going to be out of a contract. You don't know what's going to happen, okay? Or like you want to have a baby and you're on maternity leave. How are you going to provide for your family and look after your baby and all those kind of things, right? Whilst being off and not earning, it can be challenging. I am, as a freelancer, self-employed. So if I'm not working, I'm not earning. Thankfully, you can get maternity pay from the government. And I say that with respect to the government. However, it's not a lot of money. Like, let's just be real, right? The government are not here to pay you for you to take time off to look after your baby. They're here to give you very much the minimum, okay? So you need to be making sure that if you're self-employed and if you're a freelancer, you've got to actually be an entrepreneur. Like, you have to be someone that is like, okay, I'm going to make money through this route, and this route. Like, it can't just be like, I'm just going to freelance. Even as a freelancer, you have to have other income streams. You have to be thinking that way. Like, you're choosing to be a freelancer because you're choosing to run your own business. You're choosing to find clients yourself. And if you want to live, prosperously, if you want to live abundantly, then you got to take that to the next level. Otherwise, you might end up falling back into permanent jobs. Like, I've seen different freelancers that go from freelance to perm, or they're freelancers. And then it gets to the point where it's like, oh my gosh, I haven't found a contract in like a month, 2 months. I might have to go back to being perm because this is still your 9 to 5. You got to take the freelancing to a next level. So you have to be somebody who has an entrepreneurial mindset, right? And it's not easy because there could be months where if you don't have money set aside, then some of your bills might be missed. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about missing your council tax bill? Is that going to cause you anxiety? These are the kind of real conversations you need to be having with yourself if you want to get into freelancing. And you have to be comfortable with the idea that, okay, if I don't have much money set aside and I've left my job, then what's plan B? What have I got to fall back on? In one of my videos, when I spoke about why I haven't been, and I'll link it above, why I haven't been posting in a while, I speak about some of the things that I'm doing whilst I've got the capacity to do it whilst I'm on maternity leave. I mean, yes, I have 3 children now, but obviously I do have a husband that helps as well. So it makes a big difference. And in addition to that, I've spoken about other income streams and things that I'm trying to do, such as trade in the financial markets. Okay, that's something that I've learned and I'm still learning, and I'm building upon my skill sets in that respect because I want to be able to make money while I sleep, all of those kind of things. currently I'm enjoying a few of my earnings from crypto. Like, I never thought I'd ever get into crypto, but these are the things that I've decided to do because for me, I have that kind of entrepreneurial mindset. Does that mean that I don't get anxiety or I don't get overwhelmed at the thought of not having money or having less money? Of course I do, which is why it's opened the door for other income opportunities. So you have to be serious about planning your finances. You've got to be serious about the number of income streams that you have, that you're planning on having. And even as a freelancer, I definitely wouldn't just rely on freelancing as a sole basis for your income. I would look at other types of investments. I would look at other ways of making money from those exact same skill sets that you have. So I have mentioned this point before in a few of my videos, but the aspect of work-life balance is so important. You need to make sure, if you're freelancing, that you are taking some time off just to be able to recuperate, just to be able to do you. Like, I think this is so underestimated sometimes, the aspect of just doing you. Doing you might just mean taking a week off because you need to rest. Like, you've been working flat out and you need to have some lay-ins. Like, you need to be waking up at 10 o'clock for a couple of days. You need to just go and do some retail therapy. You need to just sit and chill with your friends for a bit. You can just get so caught up in the grind, the hustle, the bustle, the constantly working, because think about it, you don't get paid to take time off. So your mind is almost like it automatically switches into, I need to constantly be in work, and then when you take time off, you're constantly thinking of, okay, I've lost this amount of money just for taking time off. So you need to make sure that you don't get so run down. I went through a season where I was very run down and almost burnt out. To be honest, I would probably say burnt out, but I didn't even realize it. And I just kept on going. I started to feel quite down. I find myself crying and I just wasn't taking time off. And it wasn't until I purpose to take time off, because I had to take time off because I was having a baby. It was when I had my second child. And it was just and then it's like I'm going straight into motherhood, which is a whole nother job. If you're someone like me, you've got a family, then you can't even afford to be burnt out, because after work you got your second job, you got your family to look after. So I would honestly stress that you need to be in a position to identify, okay, am I feeling down? Am I feeling down because I haven't rested? Am I feeling down because I'm just working and I'm waking up every day and are you feeling down because you're not getting out of the house? Like, for me, I work remotely, and for a good number of years, I've just worked remotely as a freelancer. So you need to have an idea of what works for you and what doesn't. If you're someone that, you need to be getting out of the house regularly, then obviously remote working might not be for you. So it's important to have that work-life balance where you work hard, yes, and then you also take time out for you. So the triggers, that if you're starting to feel down, if you're starting to feel overwhelmed, anxious, whatever, okay, it's time for me to take a bit of time off, or it's time for me to book a holiday for a few days. I think what we all need to remember is that we are replaceable. Nobody is irreplaceable. Like, we are all replaceable. If you can't make it to a contract for whatever reason, or you leave a contract, they'll find someone else. Even it's the same if you're permanent. If you're permanent and you leave a role or whatever, you'll get your goodbye, you'll get your, your leaving card and whatnot. But the truth of the matter is, you're going to be replaced. So I think we all need to get to the point where we are putting ourselves first and our health and well-being first. Point number 3, you have to be okay as a freelancer with the fact that you're not going to be climbing up the career ladder. You're not going to be climbing up the rankings, like going from necessarily a senior PM to a lead PM, head of PM team, or, whatever. That is not the avenue that you're taking if you're looking to freelance, unless you're looking to go back to permanent or freelancing for a little while. You need to know that, okay, if I'm choosing to freelance and I'm choosing to kind of cut against the grain, I'm choosing to do my own thing, you are self-employed. So you're finding your own clients, you are working from client to client, and that is the level that you're kind of sticking at. So if you're a senior PM, then you're likely to just stick to senior PM roles. You know, there are times when you can go for a project director role, or the recruiter might even think, okay, senior PM, you've led campaigns that have been worth over 7 figures. So yeah, I think you can go for this freelance project director role, for example, right? So I think it's just channeling that mindset where the norm in society is to, you know, go from rank to rank, midweight PM to senior PM, junior PM to midweight PM, you know what I mean? So it's just being comfortable with that, because you're going to be seeing, you know, some of your counterparts go from, you know, a midweight PM where you both worked alongside each other to managing the whole PM team. You might be thinking to yourself, okay, oh, if I was perm, then I'd be in that position too, or I might be in that position, you know, oh, I'd love to be in that position. So choosing to be a freelancer means that you are cutting against the grain and you're stepping into your own kind of authority with your finances, and you are self-employed. So you are the one finding the clients. You've got to define what success looks like in your own terms. Now, the final point is isolation. The reason why I want to talk about isolation is because freelancing, when you're working in an office, if you are new, it takes a while before you are kind of like accustomed to the team that you're working within. It takes a while before you are kind of in there, if you know what I mean. So sometimes it does feel quite isolating as a freelancer if you are moving from company to company and, you know, you're at a contract for about a couple of months, you know, another gig for a couple of months. Like, it can feel quite isolating because you are meeting new people. These people that you're working with already have their relationships, they've got their team kind of culture, they've got their team vibe. So you are kind of like having to fit in. Some people don't like that. Like, some people like to be and feel as though they are part of a team. And although you are going into environments where a team's relationship has already been built, so you're kind of coming into that, and it can feel a little bit isolating. And I think the reason why I want to highlight that is because now a lot of the roles now are hybrid. I'm seeing that the PM roles are, you know, they want you to work in the office 3 times a week. I even have to acknowledge that, you know, as much as I'm an introvert and I like to do my own time, my own space and do my own thing, I'm working from home. Going back into the office, it means that you are having to gel with people much more, and you are having to, you know, be around people much more, and, you know, potentially go on lunches and all those kind of things with the team, just to kind of get to know people a bit more. Like, it's not forced upon you as a freelancer, and as a freelancer you know, you are self-employed, remember, so you don't necessarily have to, but we're in the business of people, you know, we're in the people business still. We're communicating with people on a daily basis. These are the people that you're working with daily, you know, so it can feel a little bit isolating if you are new and you are someone who is quite, you know, introverted, and you're not used to putting yourself out there. Those people that are in permanent positions, they want a freelancer to come in. Yes, you do your job and you get on with it, but it's also nice when someone slots into the team as well. But that does take time. It can take a few weeks to a month. I guess some people are used to that already because they might have been doing hybrid roles anyway, but I guess this is more for if you're remote and you've been remote for quite a long time and you prefer remote working, then, you know, going back into the office might feel a little bit daunting, and it's just getting back into the swing of things. So building those relationships and mingling and being part of the culture is a nice thing to do if you want to avoid feeling isolated. So I hope you found that video gave you a bit more transparency in relation to freelancing. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share, comment, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.